Today on Monkey Life, counting them out.
Right, they're coming through, Jasmine. You got your slide open. 2, 3.
Counting them in, as Bart's and the Bachelors execute a chimp house swap.
14.
Koba, the rescued marmoset, clings to life after arriving at the park in a stricken state.
He's quite a feisty little guy and he wants to fight, so we want to help him with that.
And down at Malagasy, the lemurs have this treetop challenge licked. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Right there, keep her in, get her in. Okay, got it.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 25 different species. It's all change at the chimp pavilions. The primate care staff are getting ready for a very busy morning. For the second time in 2 years, Bart's group are going to swap homes with the bachelor chimps. In all, 27 chimpanzees will have to be moved in a scheme designed to make it easier to integrate Argentine chimp Sasha into Bart's troop.
It's complicated. We've got to make sure that everyone is 100% definitely in the right place. We don't want any risks of any chimps being left behind and anyone ending up with the wrong group, obviously. So there's a lot of safety checks that go into it, but the main goal really is to try and make it easier for us with doing introductions with Sasha, because where she was placed before made it a little bit tricky. So we're going to have her more centralised in Bart's group to go forwards with introductions. So there's quite a few benefits to swapping them around.
Sasha's introductions have been slow, partly due to the configuration of the current house setup. By moving her and the rest of the group to the other end of the pavilions, the team will have more options and hopefully be able to settle Sasha into the group more quickly.
Right, let's go for it then.
The bachelor boys are going to be moved first. They're already lining up in the outside tunnels, aware something is up.
Oh, boys!
The tunnel system has been designed to link the two enclosures for just such a scenario.
Right, they're coming through, Jasmine. You got your slide open. 1, 2, 3.
The boys need little encouragement. They seem keen to make their way back to their old enclosure.
Oh, good job, lads! Amazing!
The primate care staff check them off to make sure everyone is where they should be. As they head off to explore, Bart's troop watch on curiously.
So we've got the bachelor group in where Bart's have been. So this is their old enclosure that they're back in again. And we're just about to now move Bart's back over to their old enclosure. It's going to be quite noisy for a while, but yeah, it's all good.
Moving Bart's group of 16 is a little more complicated, because Sasha will have to be moved separately, along with Beth, who's keeping her company.
Right, come on you lots! Are you ready?
The main group seem even keener than the bachelor boys to return to their old bedrooms at the other end of the pavilions.
14.
Next, they need to climb out of the last room and into the tunnel leading to the outdoor enclosure. And after a quick check, they head through. The primate care staff tick off their names one by one. All present and correct. Bart's group can now begin to enjoy their new surroundings. Apart from Sasha and Beth, because Sasha hasn't been outside since joining Bart's group, she's last up and will stay in the bedrooms along with companion Beth. The bedrooms she'll occupy are at the far end. which will make it easier for her to be introduced to the others. And she'll be able to see and hear everyone. She'll still feel part of the group, and having made friends with Beth, she'll have someone to learn from.
Sasha came here with sort of quite limited social skills, having not known very many chimps in the past. So that is one thing that makes these introductions quite difficult, is that the chimps don't really have the best social skills. They can't read behaviours of each other very well. So having Beth there to sort of copy and mimic means that she's sort of learning, oh, if the rest of the group is hooting, Beth's hooting, I should copy. And that will serve her really well when she's either fully in the group or even once she gets a little subgroup. So yeah, it's really beneficial having sort of an ally, a teacher, a mentor with her for a little bit.
Both Bart's group and the Bachelor boys appear to have embraced the move back to their original enclosures and are settling in. The change of routine and areas to rediscover should keep the groups engaged and interested for some time to come. Mealtimes at the park can be rowdy, excitable affairs. And the primate care staff work hard to ensure all their charges receive a balanced, nutritious and appropriate diet. But it's also important to change it up every now and then, to keep all the animals engaged and encourage natural behaviours. A good way of doing this is to add a social element to the meal. Today, Donna's doing just that for Eriko's troop of 12. She's aiming to encourage a spot of fur rubbing amongst the Capuchins.
We've got loads of goodies this morning. We've got some nice chillies, some raw ginger and some onions as well. They absolutely love their anointing. It's a natural behaviour, so we like to stimulate that as much as we can. So I'm hoping when they come out first thing this morning, they're going to see these and be really happy.
In the wild, Capuchins smear themselves with a variety of plants with different benefits. Some help repel insects, and others are thought to have medicinal roles. But today's food items have a specific goal.
For our Capuchins, the most important use that it has really is to sort of bring the Capuchins together. It's a very social activity for them. They'll all get together in sort of small groups and all rub it all over themselves together. So it's a really great way of forming the friendships within the group.
Donna opens up and Caesar is first out. There's plenty of food spread around, so everyone can get their share. Caesar's first find is an onion, and he's already peeling it. Fur rubbing is one of his favourite things to do, and soon he's enthusiastically anointing himself all over. Eriko's troop have only recently moved to the Capuchin complex and have settled in really well. There aren't as many trees as their previous enclosure, but the large climbing frame and high platforms more than make up for it.
I would say we definitely see the animals using different spaces here as opposed to how they would at the forest. There are some similarities, so Scarlett, for example, loves the trees and she loves going up high in this enclosure. But you also see some of the other individuals like Eriko and Sean that never used to climb really outside before. They will go up now, especially searching for food, so it's really great that we've been able to move them to an area that encourages them to be more active. And I actually think that this enclosure is far better suited to the group than the previous one that they had.
Eriko is certainly enjoying his new surroundings. And this morning, he's joining in the fur rubbing using some chilies, even though his skills are rather basic. On one of the platforms, Matty is cleverly pounding an onion to break it apart. Success! One Capuchin who's truly embraced her new home is recent arrival Louisa. And Donna is delighted.
We were all really dubious as to how Louisa would get on. She is missing part of her arm, but actually, I think, she's just adapted. It doesn't bother her at all. She can get everywhere that all of the other Capuchins can get to. She speeds around the enclosure, so it certainly doesn't slow her down. She can feed, she will still hold food items in the arm, and she seems to now absolutely love the outdoors. At the lodge, she didn't particularly go outside too much, but here it's much more open and there's more sunny spots for her, which she absolutely loves. So yeah, she's doing really, really well.
The Capuchins have fully engaged in today's enrichment, indulging in a spot of fur rubbing and enjoying their new environment. and Donna is pleased her efforts to encourage captive primates to perform natural behaviours have paid off. Outdoors, and later indoors too. There are 3 groups of orangutans at the park. 2 adult groups native to Borneo, and the nursery group, consisting of both Bornean and Sumatran orangs. In the wild, orangutans, particularly the males, are a semi-solitary species, but at the park, members of the individual groups coexist well. Today, Tuan's group of 6 are outside enjoying the warm weather and snacking on whatever they can forage. The big male leader is tucking into a large bulb of fennel, while Ame has found some browse, something all orangutans love to eat. A variety of greens are on the menu today, which keep the orangs busy processing their meal and provides fibre, which is good for their gut health. The enclosure is spacious, giving the group plenty of room and lots to do if they're in the mood. Lucky demonstrates her abseiling skills on one of the hoses. Awan is in a playful mood, practicing her roly-polies and flirting with the big male. The youngest member of the group is 6-year-old Hujan, and wherever he is, Roro won't be far away. This morning, they're sat in Ame's favourite spot, and the 29-year-old female isn't happy about it. A few stern looks and Roro and Hujan get the message, leaving Ame to settle down and watch the world go by. Hujan is always happy to entertain himself. He's made great progress since arriving at the park. Born at Krefeld Zoo in Germany, his mother was seriously ill after giving birth, and when she recovered, rejected the newborn. He was hand-reared by staff, but despite multiple attempts to integrate him with the rest of his family, things didn't work out. So when he was just 2 years old, Monkey World stepped in and offered him a home.
It was a completely new world of fun for him, so we put him into Tuan's group. All of the ladies over there absolutely adored him. Pretty much, I think every one of them turned themselves upside down when they first met him for him to climb aboard and have a really nice play session. And even Tuan's really respected him being in the group as well. So he's had a lovely, lovely time over there.
4 years on from his arrival, there are big plans afoot for Hujan. He's growing up fast. Leader Tuan doesn't currently interact with him much, but it's well documented adult male orangutans don't mix well together. Plus, as the young male matures, his attitude towards the females is developing.
Hujan's getting to that age where he's starting to get interested a bit more in the females. He's not bothering Tuan too much, and Tuan hasn't really showed any aggression towards him in any way at all. But we do have to bear in mind that it's probably time for him to move over to the nursery. So it's kind of a little bit of a strange one with this, because obviously nursery is normally for the baby orangutans, but this way around it's going to be almost secondary school for him. It's a long way to go here, but fingers crossed this is going to happen and he'll have a good new time over in the nursery.
He'll be joining 4 other youngsters there: Bulu Mata, Rika, Mimi, and new arrival Kyan. It should be a good fit for Hujan, who still likes nothing better than playing and having fun. For the past 2 weeks, the primate care team have been training Hujan to come and go along the tunnel connecting the nursery enclosure.
Hujan. Good job, buddy.
It's important that when the time comes to move him, he goes of his own accord. Today, primate care member Kat is giving him some target training.
So at the moment, all I'm doing is just reinforcing, go where the stick is, and you'll get a treat for it.
Hujan has been doing training sessions with the others since he arrived, but target training is more focused and will encourage him to follow the stick when moving down the tunnel.
Hujan. Oh, I've got a right party, Tommy.
The training is entirely voluntary, and today, most of the group have decided they want to have a go too.
Tuan. It's also quite good for them to have a bit of stimulus and something a bit different just to break up the day.
Everyone is keen to join in.
Lucky.
When the time comes for James and the rest of the orangutan team to move Hujan, he should be well prepared for the short journey to his new home. It's been just over a week since marmosets Koba and Lola arrived at the park after being seized by the RSPCA. The male, Koba, was in such a bad state the team were worried he might have to be put to sleep. The tiny primate was emaciated, had a broken wrist, was missing half his tail, and had a twisted spine as a result of rickets. But the care staff have realised Koba has a lot of spirit and determination, and they're doing their best to give him every chance.
So this is just some water with a little bit of honey added to it. We are concerned that he obviously might become quite dehydrated if he's not eating enough watery foods as well. At this point, he's not really showing great ability to approach water bottles or even bowls that we place near him, just tends to be tipping over. So by offering him some nice sugary fluids, we're hoping that it'll encourage him more to drink from us, so we can at least have some record that he is taking on board some fluids. Good boy.
Sharon is surprised how well Koba has rallied.
Within such a short space of time, quite a big improvement in how bright and alert he is. And yeah, just having him take fluids like this is really reassuring, because keeping him hydrated is a big part of keeping him healthy.
While Koba battles on, his partner Lola is in much better condition. She's relatively healthy and very mobile.
She's very bright, she's very responsive to the primate care staff, so she's come straight over, she's willing to take things from you, and as you can see, she's got no problem lapping up some of the honey water from the syringe. So yeah, it's really good to get that trust with her so early on. Yeah, that's very tasty. Good girl.
The fact the pair arrived at the park together is a great help for Koba.
Having come to us with her is a big part of, why he is doing slightly better. They snuggle in together. She's obviously fairly boisterous compared to him, but she does kind of go in and snuggle up to him and gives him that companionship. So yeah, you can hear them just they do chat to each other, and we just need to pop her away from him so we can give him some specialist one-on-one care while he's recovering, and then the rest of the time they're together. So yeah, they're quite a sweet little pair.
Koba has put on 30 grams in weight in just a week. He only weighed around 200 grams when he first arrived. But he struggled to pass faeces, and the team are using a special treatment to help.
It's called a fecal transplant. So by taking faeces from a very healthy animal and mixing a small amount of it in some food and feeding it to an animal that maybe needs a bit more help with the gut bacteria, it somehow stimulates the production of good bacteria in the gut. So we've seen it work for other animals, and again our concern is we're not seeing him pass as much faeces as maybe we'd like. So we're hoping that this little custard and poop mixture might help him, just help things move along a little bit. So yeah, we'll just have to see how he takes it. There you go. Oh yeah, what do you reckon? Yeah, that's definitely happy noises.
Koba laps it up. At this stage in his hoped-for recovery, it's all about making him feel comfortable, and so far, he's responding.
Yummy, that was good. He seems a little fighter, he's quite a feisty little guy, and the happy little noises that he's making. He wants to fight, so we want to help him with that.
With temperatures rising and the sun high in the sky, one lucky group are in for a cooling treat. Down at Malagasy, the park's 8 ring-tailed lemurs are being given a frozen feast. Mashed bananas and grapes, hidden in the fronds of large pine cones.
We're going to string them up high around the forested enclosure that they have to get them up off the ground, to get them active, to get them moving, to get them stretching, and get them using their lovely long tongues as well to get in between the cracks of the pine cones to get all of the treats.
It makes for a challenging task. The pine cones are suspended with thin string, which constantly moves around. The lemurs must work out how to reach them and extract the fruit. It promises to be a whole mind and body workout. The troop are let out. They've been split into 2 groups due to recent tensions. The youngest members, brothers Kurt and Friedrich, have been throwing their weight around and ganging up on some of the older males. As a result, they now take it in turns to use the outdoor forest enclosure. Today, the terrible twins are in the forest attacking the pine cones, alongside alpha female Fennel and her best buddy Renton. Plus Al, another young male the brothers seem to tolerate, for now. The other 3 lemurs who make up the group, Himal, Sirius and his twin brother Indiana, won't miss out. They're being given their pine cones in the smaller caged enclosure. The whole troop tackle the frozen treats with enthusiasm. Fennel opts for a low-hanging pine cone. She's now 22, and the only female left in the group. Females are in charge in lemur society, and everyone respects her. Up above, the boys have worked out how to steady the moving pine cones. Lemur hands are perfectly adapted to tackling tricky objects. Their padded palms protect them from spiky plants, and their long, nimble fingers can easily manipulate the food. Their long tongues are also useful, as Friedrich demonstrates, eagerly licking the sticky treats trapped inside the pine cones. The lemurs use their tails as a counterbalance. Even Owl, who has a broken tail, can steady himself.
It's important to keep them moving, keep their joints active. So yeah, placing things up high where they can't usually reach is really good, because in the wild, these guys will live both on the ground and up in the trees. So yeah, it's really important to get them up high, get them active, get them climbing, get them using all of those important muscles, and yeah, keeping them nice and active.
The pine cones have been a success, with the entire troop coming up with their own technique to haul in the fruit. The cones will remain in place all day, encouraging the lemurs to keep active and come back again and again. Next time on Monkey Life. It's moving day for young male orangutan Hujan, who's on his way to join the nursery group, carrying his comforter.
You're a good boy, well done.
And woolly monkey Lavar discovers small things can come in big packages as he boxes Clever on his birthday.